today. I'm Susan Lerner. I'm the Executive Director of Common Cause New York, and I'm the Board Chair of Rank the Vote NYC. I want to thank Assemblymember Ron Kim, Manhattan Borough President Gale Brewer, and the many mayoral and comptroller candidates and advocates for being here with us this morning. In 2 months from today, voters will head to the polls for early voting to elect their city council member, borough president, comptroller, and mayor using ranked choice voting for the first time ever. This is incredibly exciting. Ranked choice voting is a pro-voter reform. It gives voters more choices at the ballot box and has been proven to increase representation by eliminating the spoiler effect, meaning more candidates can run without canceling each other out. Ranked choice voting is easy to use too. 95% of Queens voters found the ranked choice voting ballot simple to understand, and 75% knew about ranked choice voting before heading to the polls, according to an exit poll we had conducted in the special elections in Queens. For nearly a year, Rank the Vote NYC and Common Cause New York have conducted a variety of voter education efforts throughout New York City to spread the word about ranked choice voting. Rank the Vote NYC has partnered with the Queens and Brooklyn Public Libraries, Meals on Wheels, Grow NYC, National Restaurant Association, newspapers, local elected officials, civic groups like Northwest Bronx Community and Clergy Coalition, Mothers on the Move, Chaya Miquon Community Center, the Educational Alliance, and many, many others throughout the boroughs. In order to produce forums, trainings, panels with the candidates, and to get explanatory information into the hands of voters. So far, they've hosted close to 200 trainings, reaching over 7,000 individuals citywide, not including views captured from online. Trainings are ongoing, and our website provides educational explanatory materials in 13 different languages and in large print format, as well as providing explainer videos and a sample ballot to be sure that voters are familiar with ranked choice voting before they get to the polls. So we hope to see even more people signing up for our trainings, and you can see a calendar on the website as well. We are glad to be joined by so many candidates, elected officials, and advocates today. I'm going to pass it off to Assemblymember Ron Kim. Ron, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Susan, from Common Cause. Thank you so much for all that you've done and all the allies of the Rank the Vote NYC that have joined us today. I can't believe we're almost 2 months out. This is one of the biggest elections in the city of New York after COVID, and we have ranked the vote. And it is surreal, Susan, it is surreal that this is actually happening after so many years of advocacy and pushing for these measures. So I'm super excited. I know you are, and I know New Yorkers are, because this is the way we should be doing elections. It is much more partnership driven, collaborative, engages voters that have been marginalized for so many years to be part of the process where they could feel like they can put their voice on the voting ticket when they go to the polls. Now, if you want to vote for one person, you still can. But I recommend that you put all your people, rank up to 5 people that you want to vote for on the most historic election that we have on the city of New York. Let me just pull out the website. If all the languages, if you have questions, I know the coalition have gone to so many communities to do the workshops to make sure that the public understand what's going on. But if you still have questions, please go to rankthevoteny.org, where we have public education tools in 13 different languages that Susan and her team have provided. I know we're joined by a number of electeds today. I am honored to be here with them. I think Manhattan Borough President Gale Brewer, I see her. Is Council Member Antonia Reynoso here? She's not in. No,
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, but I'm going to hand it back to Susan. I'm very excited. My constituents, Asian Americans, who always felt like during these elections, they did not have a voice, are supercharged. They feel like despite being in the lower end of the voting blocks, their voice actually matters in this type of a collaborative ranked choice voting system. So we're excited. We're going to get out there. We're going to get the word out. And we got 2 months out. So let's go to work.
Thank you, Assemblymember Kim. Thanks for all of your help and advocacy around ranked choice voting. And I'm very excited that the elected official who first put a measure to pass ranked choice voting on the ballot, then council member, now Manhattan Borough President Gale Brewer, is with us today. Gale, I'm going to hand it to you.
Oh, you got to unmute, Gale.
Thank you very much, Susan. I share, although I cannot be as articulate as Assembly Member Kim, but I am certainly excited that this is actually happening. And there's so many different ways in which it is happening. I want to go through some of them. Yes, we've been talking about this for a long time. And also we have stood in the rain, stood in the snow, stood in the hot weather during the upcoming charter, post-charter education, many locations trying to wonder if it was going to happen. And now that it's actually happening, it's very exciting. I also was excited when the City Charter Commission put ranked choice on the ballot in the fall of 2019, which seems like a long time ago, but ever since and even before, we have been doing education about this, much thanks to you. The voters overwhelmingly approved the ballot measure. Of course, I don't know that they knew exactly what they're doing, I'm honest. On the other hand, the good leadership from other states and from you made it possible. It protects the will of voters, as you heard from the Assembly member. It saves us all from low turnout and costly runoff elections, as we said over and over again at every single press conference. And of course, it has a great track record in other cities and states, may they be small or large. But what's exciting about New York, of course, we're the biggest, and this is the largest effort. I think everyone knows, this is another reason why it's exciting in 2021. Almost every city council, borough president, running for mayor, everybody except the public advocate, controller, they're very crowded fields. And now the voter will have an opportunity to make 5 choices. It couldn't have come at a better time. But you know what's also something that we didn't think about, or maybe you did, but I didn't. It's also giving the persons who do endorsements the opportunity to rank. So they're not in such hot water with those whom they don't usually rank. So that is an unusual benefit that I don't think I would have thought of, because we didn't know how crowded the field was going to be. We've taken this step towards our city's democracy. We've made it stronger. And now, thanks to you and others, we have to make sure all the communities know and are well informed about how it works. And this is a big city, many, many languages, as you know, many, many different communities. And we also have so many more homebound. I was with a friend of mine yesterday who runs a business, and the woman in the store was the first time she'd been out in a year and a half, except to go to the doctor. She'd ordered food. She'd never even seen a street until this week. So we still have a lot of people who are homebound, not because they're ill, but because they're still scared of the virus. So it's an even more challenging communication than ever before, and I know you're doing it. I do want to thank, obviously, Common Cause, Rank the Vote, but I also want to thank the Board of Elections, because I know that these special elections were, I don't think they're a training ground for those who are running, but they were an opportunity to learn how to do ranked choice voting, which we didn't know we were going to have. I think there are about 5 of them, you know better than I. But in a way, it's a blessing that they took place. As you heard from the Assembly member and from Susan Lerner, you can rank up to 5 candidates in order, but you don't have to. You can vote for just one person. You don't have to do this alone because of all the information that's on the website, and I'm sure also from your trusted partners in your nonprofits. I also just want to thank the Campaign Finance Board. I want to make sure I say that. So get educated, get excited. We're on the verge of the most monumental shift in elections and voter power that perhaps our city has seen in decades. And it has worked in all the special elections, which are no different than the elections that are coming up on June 22nd. So get ready to rank, but thank you for all the amazing hard work. that people on this call, but particularly Susan Lerner and her staff, and the Board of Elections, and the Campaign Finance Board, and all those that have been the trusted partners in telling the voters what this fabulous new system is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manhattan Borough President Gale Brewer, for those kind words. And we're going to hear from Councilmember Antonio Reynoso next.
Thank you so much, Susan. I'm so happy to be here. Love following up Borough President Gale Brewer. And just want to say, look, ranked choice voting is something that I'm really excited about, that I think has a great potential to really put us in a place where we all get to hear voices from a wide range of people without having to eliminate people from running. In the borough president's race we have in Brooklyn, we have 13 people running. We have the more than half are African American elected officials. In the past, I would have felt that there would have been an active campaign to try to limit the amount of people running for office in an effort to try to make the race or try to have this seat be maintained by a minority member. In this case, we actually get to have an opportunity to hear from very different voices and ensure and understand that all communities are not a monolith, and that there are conversations to be had when we actually open up the conversation. I am a young brown boy from the South Side that never thought he would be a council member. And there was a time when I probably couldn't have made it because of the powers that be controlled all the money, and with a small fraction of the vote and all the progressives splitting the rest of it, could have possibly not gotten elected. So I understand the value of ensuring a 50+1, which a 50% plus one, which is also extremely important, that we understand a majority of the neighborhood actually, or of the city or a borough, actually support a candidate is extremely valuable. The runoffs are also something that are extremely concerning for candidates like me, that don't come from the greatest of means. To have to re-raise a bunch of money very quickly to try to win a runoff is not something that's ideal for candidates that look like me or have my type of network. And we do a lot of work to fundraise initially, and then to have to do it all over again could put us at a disadvantage as well. So I'm speaking very self-interested here in stating that it benefits me greatly. And I'm really excited to see the general population learn about ranked choice voting. I believe that these campaigns, because there's so many people running, Susan, there's so many people running, we are going to have the largest public campaign to teach people how to do ranked choice voting. There's just going to be a ton of money on these campaigns spent educating their voters on exactly how to vote. And I'm really excited for that to happen, and for us to introduce a new type of voting to a large population of folks. I'm very excited. I could say more things that are probably more relevant to like a controller candidate or a mayoral candidate. We're saving a ton of money in the city of New York, a ton of money that we don't necessarily have on a better election system. So again, really excited. I don't want to take all the air out of the room. I know people have great things to say. Just thank you so much, Susan, for putting this together. I see all these candidates on. I'm really excited about it. And thank you all.
Thank you, Councilmember Reynoso. And yes, it is exciting to see candidates running for the same office able to collaborate and join with us today. So I'm very happy to introduce the candidate for New York City Comptroller, one of three we have with us this morning, Brad Lander.
Thank you so much, Susan, and Rank the Vote. It's great to be here. I see David Weprin and Zach Iscol, and maybe other comptroller candidates will join us. I'm especially excited to be here, Susan, with you and Manhattan Borough President Gale Brewer. We've been working to bring ranked choice voting to New York City for over a decade now. Gale was the initial sponsor of the bill. When she left to go be Manhattan Borough President, I was honored to pick it up and lead sponsor. And let's remember, it took us 2 charter revision commissions to win this. We pushed very hard when the mayor appointed that so-called democracy charter commission to say this should be what's first and foremost. I don't know if people even remember what we passed in that charter revision commission, but because of your work, Common Cause and Susan Lerner and Gale Brewer and our work together, we were able to win an overwhelming majority of New Yorkers who want the opportunity to rank the vote, and we're seeing its value. Antonio, I want to build on what you said, because it's not only a great thing for candidates that you don't have to have a runoff 2 weeks later, it's a great thing for democracy. Those runoff elections were bad democracy. You had very substantial voter drop off, many fewer people turned out. And on the in one of the elections, we talk about the public advocate election between Tish James and Daniel Squadron. We spent $15 million on a runoff election for an office that at the time had a budget of about $3 million. So that was not a good use of our money, especially because all it did was buy a smaller electorate to come out and vote. Ranked choice voting has all those features of saving us money, of being more majoritarian, of promoting more collaborative campaigning, of making sure candidates go to every corner of the city. You can't just look for your 40% plus one electorate. You have to go speak to a majority of the voters, and that is a dynamite thing. We are seeing that. I'm so excited about all the city council candidates that we have. So many women, so many candidates of color, so many young people, so many first-time candidates able to run because of New York City's campaign finance system, which a lot of people on this call, like Susan, really have fought for to make good over the years. And now ranked choice voting that doesn't pit them against each other. We saw that out in the Rockaways recently. The last thing I'll say is this. I really want to underline the data that Susan mentioned from the Queen's special election. The fact that 95% of the voters felt comfortable with the ballot and 75% of the voters knew about ranked choice going in, on the one hand is very optimistic, but also speaks to the urgent need to keep doing all this voter outreach. And so I really want to thank Rake the Vote. We've been pushing, Campaign Finance Board is doing some, the council, Councilmember Lika Ampry-Samuel passed a bill to ensure there was more outreach and education, but Rank the Vote has been doing an amazing job. So the fact that 75% of the voters knew going in is great. In some ways, the fact that 95% of the voters felt comfortable means even if people didn't know going in, they were not disenfranchised. They were still able to understand the ballot. They were still able to understand and rank their preferences. But if you want the added benefit of making sure people can really do their research, learn about multiple candidates, and express their will through their vote, we've got to make sure everybody gets out the word. So we've got 2 months to rank the vote, NYC. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Common Cause. Thank you, Rank the Vote. Let's get out the word. Let's get ready to rank.
Thank you so much, Brad, for those kind words. I'm happy that a lot of our team is on to hear you lauding the hard work that they've been doing throughout the city. And now I'm very pleased that we are joined by New York City Comptroller candidate, David Weprin. David, you're on mute. I think we ought to have a little sign that we get to show on the Zoom.
Good. Thank you, Susan. It's great to join all of you and all my colleagues in government, and especially my controller opponents. It's great that we can come together for this. This is, as was mentioned, probably a real historic election, probably one that's going to be in the history books, not only for ranked choice voting, but for how many candidates are involved and how many people are participating in this process and opening up to so many people. It's also coming out of this horrible pandemic. It shows that there's light at the end of the tunnel, where we're going to come together as a city, and that's going to make a major difference in this election and in coming elections. There was a senator from New York many years ago named William Marcy, who first coined the term, "To the victors go the spoils." And of course, he was referring
We lost you, David.
Oh dear, I think his internet's frozen. So frustrating. So we'll come back once David Weprin's internet decides to allow him to communicate with us. And we will hear from Comptroller candidate Zach Iscol, and then we'll get back to David Weprin.
All right, hey everybody, it's great to be here. Susan Lerner, thanks for having us. Rank the vote, common cause. Thank you for all the work that you've done on this important issue with ranked choice voting. For one, I think, like Antonio said, this benefits a lot of great up and coming candidates. Selfishly, I am very, very excited that we've got ranked choice voting here. So I am 100% there with you, Antonio. Also, as somebody who in my past life spent time in combat getting shot at, people warned me that jumping into New York City politics was far more dangerous than anything you could experience overseas in combat. But with ranked choice voting, I don't think that's true anymore. Everybody's been so nice. I've loved getting onto these forums, getting to know some of the other comptroller candidates. I know it's starting to heat up in the mayor's race, but Brad, David, any other comptroller candidates, I hope we can all start keep keeping it clean here, between all of us. And it's really been a pleasure getting to know all of you. And I'm really looking forward. This is one of the most important elections in the history of New York City. We've had a really, really brutal year. I am very confident when you look at all the remarkable people who are running for office citywide, that we are going to have the bench and the talent we need come next year to really help bring this city back. And ranked choice voting is a big, big part of that. So really just here to say thank you. I also, I'll second most of what Brad said. I do think that the ballot in June is going to be a little bit more complicated than the ballots from the special elections. And I think it is really, really incumbent upon all of us to make sure that we are really, really educating people about how this process works. And, Susan and your team, thank you for the work that you're doing on that. It's also incumbent upon all of us candidates to help carry that flag as well. So thank you, and look forward to seeing you all out there on the campaign trail.
Thank you so much, Zach. You're absolutely right. We've been excited to partner with so many candidates in this election to help be sure that they know how to explain ranked choice voting to their future constituents and the current voters. And I'm very pleased that we are joined this morning by mayoral candidate Dianne Morales, and I'm going to turn it over to her. So she was here. I wonder if she has some, again, the internet may not always be our friend. So when she comes back on, we will bring her back on. David Weprin, is your internet going to cooperate with us now?
Yeah, I don't know. I went on my iPhone because the computer was down with the internet, but now I'm back. It looks like it's cooperating for the minute, but as I started to say before I get cut off again, it was a senator from New York, William Marcy, who coined the term "to the victors go the spoils" when he was referring to an 1828 election of his friend Andrew Jackson. I'm sure Senator Marcy could never have imagined that nearly 200 years later, he would turn the idea on his head to give spoils to the victors and the almost victors. With ranked choice voting, the voice of every New Yorker will be heard, but only if we make sure that everyone is aware of the system and its benefits. That is why organizations like Rank the Vote and Common Cause, with your help, Susan, are so important. We need to spread the word to New Yorkers across all 5 boroughs that this June 22nd, they will have a new way to select their leaders, and they should have every tool at their disposal to take advantage of it. Elected officials, candidates, staff, volunteers, civic and community leaders need to spend the next 11 weeks educating their constituents, neighbors, friends, and family about ranked choice voting and making sure everyone uses it to its full potential. That's the only way we will ensure the success and maximize the voting power that comes with it for each and every New Yorker. I would urge everyone to visit rankthevote.org for more information in 13 separate languages. And as was pointed out before, a lot of money, I'm talking as a controller candidate now, a lot of money will be saved in the city by eliminating that costly runoff election. Thank you for bringing us all together, and good luck, everyone.
Thank you so much, David Weprin. And now we're going to hear from mayoral candidate Dianne Morales.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. I was having some technical difficulties as well. So I'm really excited and I'm really proud to be here in support of and in advocacy for the ranked choice voting. I'm deeply appreciative to all of the organizers and advocates that made this possible. Susan, thank you so much for all of your efforts on the behalf of increasing essentially choice for people. It is not lost upon me that ranked choice voting actually has the potential to make it possible for people to vote with their values, to make it possible for us to move away from this old school establishment party politics and actually give people real choice. It's also not lost upon me that the crisis is not over. With the death of Dante Wright yesterday, it is a stark reminder that the voices that were elevated last summer in the name of racial justice, of social justice, of economic justice, those things are still at the forefront of the things that we are fighting for today. And it is critical that we not be lulled into a false sense of complacency. It is critical that we give the communities that have been the most challenged and the most marginalized as a result of our political system the opportunity to actually exercise their vote, not just for the least harmful candidate, but for one who actually stands for, elevates, and uplifts justice and equity for our communities. So in my mind, ranked choice voting makes that possible. Ranked choice voting gives us the ability to redefine electability and viability in a way that actually serves the people. And so I am thrilled to stand here as a people's candidate in support of ranked choice voting and looking forward to people from New York City being able to actually vote with their values and their ideology, rather than voting based on heirs to political dynasties or connections to the political establishment. Our people get to vote now based on what they believe in, and that's what I think ranked choice voting enables. I hope to participate in, and I look forward to participating in the education efforts so that our community members are fully informed about what it means to rank their top 5 choices for critical offices here in New York City. So I am proud to stand with all of you today, and I really deeply appreciate the efforts of the organizers that have made this possible for New Yorkers. And I'm excited to see what the outcome is as we build a new New York City for all of us. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, mayoral candidate Dianne Morales. And I am very happy that we are joined by one of our important partners in helping us get the word out about ranked choice voting, and that is the New York Immigration Coalition. We have Theodore Moore from the New York Immigration Coalition with us. Theo, we'd like to hear from you.
Sure. Thank you, Susan. I want to thank Common Cause New York and Rank the Vote New York City. And like everyone else, I am extremely excited for ranked choice voting. Like I've actually been jealous of the folks who got to use it during the special election out in Queens. Like I was like, when is my turn? My turn comes on June 22nd. And it's because ranking of things is just something that we naturally do. I've been in several text loops with friends over this weekend, obviously talking about the untimely death of DMX, which got us into conversations about now we're ranking our top 5 rappers, and we're just talking about ranking our top 5 rappers. And this is just something that we did all weekend. For the record, I am Biggie, Andre 3000, Miss Lauryn Hill, Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar. That is the ranking. This is something we do. even more, a couple weeks ago, me and my friends, we were having a Zoom watch party. We were watching the NCAA finals, the women's finals. And, during halftime, we had a heated conversation around like the top 5 women basketball players of all time. Like, I was actually happy we were just doing it on Zoom, because we were in person. There might have been some furniture moving, like we were getting into it. Once again, the list is Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Miller, Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, Maya Moore. That is the top 5. I don't want to hear any arguments. That's your top 5. This is just something we do on a regular basis. We rank things. You have a conversation with friends, you're ranking things. You go to the supermarket, you're ranking things, you're prioritizing. So it does not surprise me that we saw coming out of the special election the numbers that we've seen from your exit poll, Susan, because this is just natural that people get to do, something natural that people do, and it's something that people are excited to do in their political life now when they actually go in to vote. And really all we have to do is make sure that individuals are educated that this is going to be happening, and that it's translated into multiple languages in that education materials so that people really understand, because we're going to be dealing with a different population that goes to vote for the primaries. These are people that vote less frequently, so they may not have all of the information. So the New York Immigration Coalition has been conducting advocacy and member engagement and public engagement around ranked choice voting. So from now until the end, into the primary, we're really going to be ramping up those efforts and reaching out to every community to provide education and resources. This is going to include doing a train-the-trainer events for our member organizations so that they'll be equipped to speak directly with community members about ranked choice voting. We're going to be doing convenings in language, focus groups that actually to create properly translated ranked choice vote materials that are culturally sensitive. We're going to be doing direct outreach to immigrant voters and voters of color to inform them about the new ballots. We're going to have a whole digital organizing campaign to reach people and keep them up to date with information. And we really have a lot of efforts that are going to be happening. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but advocacy orgs and candidates are really working every day to make ranked choice voting a success. Obviously, this is going to be one of the most important primaries in recent city history, and there's going to be a lot of new people coming into government. But we're really supportive of ranked choice voting because it gives our communities a better choice to impact those races and who gets to represent us here in New York City. So we want to thank everyone who's joining us here and everyone who's doing their best effort to actually get out the information about ranked choice voting. Thank you.
Thank you, Theo, and the New York Immigration Coalition. It is very exciting to have all of these supporters and advocates, and to know that we're all working together to be sure that New York City's voters get the full benefit of ranked choice voting in this such an important primary. And now we're going to open it to the press for